Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allows you to record and edit your broadcast so it sounds great. And they even distribute your broadcast for you so that it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello everyone, and here are your FET news for this week. Join host Andrew FRETT every Thursday for FRETT's Education Thoughts, where he discusses his own opinions and thoughts about the topics on Future Educators Talk and what's happening around the world. Follow and subscribe to my own podcast, DAMIAN Talks Education, everywhere you stream your podcast at. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. New episodes of Future Educators Talk drops on Thursdays. So follow and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Follow Future Educators Talk on social media. You can go to facebook.com/Future Educators Talk and like our page. On Instagram at Future Educators Talk, and on Twitter at Future Ed Talk. So follow our podcast. And follow your host of Future Educators Talk on social media. You can follow me, Damian Anderson, on Instagram at @DamianAnderson, and on Twitter at _Damian Anderson. You can follow Andrew FRETT on Instagram at It's Andrew FRETT, and on Twitter at Darren_FRETT. And you can follow KJ Johnson II on Instagram and Twitter at KJ Johnson II. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Future Educators Talk, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of our video version episodes that we upload. Also, you can now listen to past episodes of our show on YouTube and on all the podcast platforms that we are located on. Now sit back and relax because a new episode of Future Educators Talk is starting now. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Future Educators Talk. We are your co-hosts, Damian Anderson and KJ Johnson II. And as you can see, Andrew, he is not here with us because he is taking a break from this podcast here, but he will be back soon. So let's get this started with this episode here. But before we get started, how are you doing, KJ?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. I can't complain at all. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So let's get this started with this episode here. Today's topic is focusing on students' well-being in these challenging times that we are in. We are still in this pandemic, you guys, and every teacher's focus should be on the students at this time. So you have wellness strategies like some positive self-talk and mindfulness, the priorities, their practice. It can help students feel a bit calmer and they feel more in control in this difficult year, especially 2020 has been a difficult and worse year for everyone. Now, we are going to get into the strategies of how you teachers should focus on students' well-being in this time, because I know that it can be stressful for students. I mean, it really can, and we need to focus on their priorities now, their mental health, because it is very important. And especially now, this is the month of October, which is bullying month. And we need to pay close attention to our students at all times. Seriously. So let's get this started here with the first of how we are supposed to focus on our students' well-being, which is promoting self well-being, promoting student well-being in a crisis. So KJ, why don't you get us started with this? What do you have?
A good way to promote student self-being, especially in times of, uncertainty, ambiguity, and I guess you can say calamity and crisis, will be focused on connection. You have to focus on connection with your student. Research has been shown that the absence of a connection can cause distress and disease for that particular student. Social connection is the antidote and is increasingly seen as core human need. Getting to know your students and having them know each other in meaningful ways is key, especially now more than ever. And I can also piggyback off of that research to say relationship is key too. Connection is one thing, but relationship is another thing. You want to build positive relationships with your students because if you fail to do that, then that student fails to feel safe or fails to feel safe in your environment. So establish good connections and build great relationships and enhance those relationships along the way.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that, of that building relationships with your students. Me and Andrew, we did an episode of that. I encourage you guys to check it out. And I agree, building a relationship is the key. It should be because you have to, every teacher should have a relationship with their students. I don't care who you are. If you are a teacher, you are supposed to have a relationship with your students. Get to know them, get to know their background, and do it. And I mentioned during the first month when school starts, that is the best time. Don't wait until quite like toward the middle of the school year or even at the end of the school year because that will be like too late, in my opinion. So you should do it at the first month of school because if you don't, then it is going to be rough with you and that particular student because you don't have a relationship with them and they are going to push your buttons every time because you don't have that connection with them. So I encourage you teachers to have a relationship with your students, especially during this time here, especially. And so the next I have is we should place students at the center of the mindfulness and social and emotional learning. Now, you have, rather than telling your students what to do or even how to do it, we should support them in every possible way, by cultivating their ideas, their skills, and the practice that they find very useful and handy. And that way, they will learn to make sure that their own choices about how they feel are the best selves because we want our students to be the best version of themselves, not to be anybody else that they want to be or others try to be. Let your students be the best versions of them. Now, to do this, teachers, you can brainstorm some ideas with your students about how to support your students in some challenging times. You can have a discussion with them about what sustains them and what doesn't, and also explore some nurturing practice with them. And I encourage you to invite your students and share the practice with them that have worked for them. So that is another way that you can do it, especially during this time here. So I encourage you to do that, brainstorm with your kids, have discussions with them, and also let your kids, your students, be the best possible version of themselves. You want anything to add to this, KJ?
Just like you said, promote self, them, I guess you can say, um, their social emotion and emotional learning. Because if they're not there emotionally or socially, they're not going to be there cognitively. So that's a very good point. And another point that I would like to add to that is one of my favorite points because it just lightens the mood, is incorporate music and movement. I don't know about y'all, but when I'm studying and when I'm reading and when I'm doing online classes, I have my AirPods in and I'm playing music all day. And that just lightens the mood from, what I'm studying here to, oh, it's not that bad because I got music in. Music soothes us. It lifts our spirits and holds our anger, holds in our anger and our sadness, and sometimes it alleviates our fears. Listen, the right kind of music can generate excitement and relieve agitation and stress. I'm a witness to that. Music relieves stress for me. Music can be an effective noise canceling agent to filter out unwelcome sounds, and it can also help us connect through movement, rhythm, dance, harmony, while keeping our distance physically. Music can amplify what's happening in our environment and inspire change. And now, teachers, what you can do to incorporate music in the classroom, um, you can ask the students what kind of music they like, what kind of music helps them through rough periods, and invite students to share this music with their peers, and whom you can play it on the computer, you can play it on the projector screen, you can play it on your phone. I hate when people is like teachers shouldn't use their phones in the classroom. I think that's total. I think that's total. I guess you can say in inadequate, because phones are a piece, not a piece. I guess I'm trying to piece this together. A piece of technology can promote self-learning if used, not self-learning, but promote learning if used the right way. Play it on your phone, sing it, have your students sing it, whatever, because it just creates that calming and relaxed atmosphere. So incorporate music and movement.
Absolutely. Totally agree on that because that will I absolutely love that. Incorporate music into your classroom because that will calm your students and get them a little excited, put some energy into their body when they're listening to music doing their
Right.
work. So I like that there. Um, my next point that I have is to breathe. We all, especially now, we just need to take a moment and just to breathe it out. Just take a breath in and take it out. Now, you have an intentional breathing practice. This can help students, like I said, calm down. It can self-regulate them. It can better cope with their stress, absolutely. And it can also help ground them and make them feel even more present, into that moment of what you're doing. Now, for teachers who want to incorporate this into your classroom, here are some few things that I have. First, practice breathing for, let's say, for more than a minute. Now, some students, they need to learn to feel safe into their bodies first, not the other way around. So use this breathing activity. You could use this. So don't ask your students to go inside into their bodies where they might quite encounter some long head hurt or anxiety, perhaps. So consider an external, like focus on the touch, sound, taste, or vision, perhaps. And for example, I have here teachers, you might close their eyes and picture a spot, picture like you are somewhere that makes you calm. Um, and just do that for a minute, and that will calm your students down and put them in a place to where they will be present more into your classroom and not lost, whatever. So just picture into your mind a calm, safe place that they like for just a minute. Let them breathe it in, relax, and come back more focused than ever. So that's my point for teachers, is to just breathe it out.
And I like that point because I always had a teacher. Um, she started off as an English teacher, but then as I matriculated, she was moved over, breathe, breathe. Like if we were answer a question and we would like be all over the place, she would like stop, breathe, and then think about it, and then we'll come back to you. And I feel like that's helped me a lot, especially like being in college and now I'm doing my own. I'm learning at my own pace with this distance learning thing, and you're in college. Then you have nobody to like hold on to your leash, so you're kind of learning at your own pace. I've been sitting here stressing out, and I'm like, all right, KJ, breathe, breathe. And so that has helped me out a lot. And another way that we can do is introduce positive self-talk. Oh my gosh, you know how much I talk to myself on a daily basis? Man, I'm sitting here talking to myself. I could be in here in my desk. I could be on my way to class. I could be getting something to eat in the set. Whatever, I am talking to myself. Just being aware of what's going on around me, and and that's how I think. I think by you may see me talking out loud sometimes, but I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just me. That's how I think, because it's enough to hear it in your head, but you got to hear it out loud for it to actually make sense. So that's my argument on that. But look, as students become more self-aware, teachers and educators, they can work and recognize handling strong emotions by self-talk. It is not crazy to talk to yourself. Just don't respond to yourself. It's not crazy to talk to yourself. Positive internal narrative can counter negative messages that student may absorb from the outside world. Share with students that the idea of recognizing and naming strong feelings allows them to take a step back and not be controlled. When we name our feelings, when we name our emotions, soothing neurotransmitters are released that into more agitated parts of the brain, which allows us to re-engage our thinking. This gives us access to create different ways to address the different issues and trigger that stress us out. Affirmations are another positive antidote to prevent negative uh, messaging. The way they work is the best is when you use the present tense, highlighting the positive and repeat them multiple times a day. Positive affirmations like I am worth it, or I am smart, or I am intelligent, I am this, I am that, anything positive. For instance, like you said, you can tell yourself, I am enough, I am worthy, I am powerful, I am smart, I am funny. I'm not who people say I am. I'm beyond the labels that people place on me. Those different things. You reinforce those affirmations with physical touch, like tapping the back of your hand, or I know some people use patting themselves on the back. I know some people like rub their hands together, or do some kind of hug or something like that. Those things are are so vital to our social and emotional and mental well-being. Because if you cannot positively affirm yourself, then you're going off of what the world says of you, and what the world says of you is nothing of who you are. The world, man. I lived so long. I know I'm parenthetically digressing right here, but man, for so much of my life, probably up until said of KJ, what the world thought KJ should be. And that's how I lived. If they said I was this, then I was this. If they said I was this, I was this. But then I was like, I'm getting too old for this, man. I'm an adult now. I got, I'm more than what these people say that I am. I can do more than what these people say that I am. I did all this, all this, all this. I'm doing all this, but yet I'm still living to what they say. Nah, then I had to, have a conversation with myself in the mirror. It's like, KJ, you are more than what these people are telling you. And I was so afraid of what people would say if I lived my best self. But now that I'm living my best self, I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. Because if you say negatively about me living my best self, then that's an issue on you. And therefore, I'm going to go ahead and separate myself, because, I don't need any negative energy in my circle. So positive self-talk, positive affirmations literally saved my life. And if you can get your students to do it, if you are a student and you can do it, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a good day for you. You're gonna live the best of your life, the rest of your life with the freedom that you never even felt before. Please introduce and encourage and promote positive self-talk.
Yes, I agree with you on that. And I'm gonna bring this up again, and you just talk about it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, you need positive. Everyone listening to what I have to say here. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna keep saying it. You need some positive people into your life. Everyone needs to, that will motivate you to be the best version of you every single day. Because if you don't have positive people into your life, then you got some negative people who are telling you stuff that you don't want to hear, that they will tear you down, not uplift you up, etc. And they talk about you behind your back and say that that they are your friends, which they are not, because friends are not supposed to do that. Talk about you behind your back, tear you down, whatever. So you need to bring in some positive people into your circle and take out the negative. That's what I have in my circle now. Some positive people that encourage me to be the best version of me. And I don't need to listen to what other people think of me. I don't care of what they think of me. I just don't. My main focus is myself, of how I want to be in life. And so the negative people in your life, take them away, because they have nothing good, positive to say about you. And that's the truth there. So that's the truth.
Truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's all I have to say there. Now, this last point that I have for everyone is to encourage social engagement and activism.
Hmm.
Now, we all know that this pandemic has exposed us by so many of the problems that we have already knew that existed into our society. And it also has shown us how deeply that we are connected to each other and the living world, and how we all pay the price if we don't honor and protect those connections with others. Now, social engagement and activism can help students find their voice and also claim their power in life. Yes. Now, addressing these problems in the world right now around you is another powerful self care practice. Now, teachers, to
Yeah.
do this, if you want to do this, I encourage you, you can provide your students access to inclusive version of history that acknowledge historical harms and also include stories of residents. Now, it can be liberating to finally understand the how of behind so many injustice in the world. They can be human made, not immutable facts of life. This knowledge, it can also inspire students to move beyond those feelings that they are trapped or even stuck in. Now, in terms, better understanding injustice, this can give focus to our anger that we keep inside of us daily. And you can turn this into some valuable good use of action
Hmm.
instead of poisoning it onto yourself. And this can become even fester. It can become even faster if we just let it all out. Just let it all out. So take all that away and bring some positive into it. So, and that's the last point that I have here. Now, to end this here with this, we know that students, they can't they cannot learn unless that they feel safe and connected. We need to be able, teachers and educators and parents, whoever, we need to be able to let our students know that they are important enough, that they feel safe in the world, that we connect with them. Because if they don't, they will see it firsthand that we don't care about them and their futures. So we need to make sure that they feel safe. into
Mhm.
our classrooms every day, and they feel connected with us, that we care about them. And we can help this. We can do this. So, any last thoughts with this, KJ?
Man, kind of like what piggybacking off of what you said here, this last point, man, teachers, educators, school should be a safe and consistent place for kids, from elementary education, middle school, and secondary education. And if, students go to school looking for that safe place, that what if that's the only consistent place they have? And, you're in total control of that. And I truly believe that you're impacting the way you welcome a safe, positive learning environment that will make a lasting impact on that student's life. I still got teachers that I reach out to. I'm close to graduating college. And I still got teachers, my high school, middle school teachers, and I'm like, hey, can I just come sit in your classroom for like 2 seconds when I come home? Because it's just that safe environment. And, students are going to remember that. People, as they matriculate, they're going to remember that. And so you have the power to control that. And if you do that and you promote all these things that we have talked about today, your, your students are going to be better off than before they met you. I promise they will, because I'm a testimony of one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I hope you guys took notes. Teachers, you understood that what we were trying to say, because we need to be there for our students, especially during this pandemic. We got to focus on the students' well-being and their mental health. We got to be there for them. We got to let them know that they are safe and they are loved and they are important enough. I believe that we should say that to our students quite daily so they know that, because to be honest, they want to hear the words coming out of your mouth of you saying this to them, that, hey, they really do care about us. Because if not, then why would I even be here in the first place if they didn't even care about us in the first place? So you should say that to your students quite on a daily basis, that you are important, you are safe in our classroom, you are loved, you are valued, you are connected with us. So that's all I had to say there. This is the end of this episode, so thank you guys for tuning in with us for this episode here. This episode will be available everywhere that you listen to your podcast and available to watch on our YouTube channel. So thank you again, you guys, and we will see you guys back for a new episode of Future Educators Talk next week. So until then, you guys, take care of yourself, be blessed, and to please wear your mask. I'm encouraging all of you guys to please wear your mask because it does save lives. So please wear your mask, please.
Please do.
Yes. See you guys next week.
What's going on, everybody? It's KJ here, letting you know that if you have any questions or concerns about Future Educators Talk, stories to share, feedback to make our podcast better, reactions to the topics that we discuss, jokes to tell, or you would like someone for the co-host to interview, please let us know by direct messaging us on Instagram at Future Educators Talk, emailing us at futureeducatorstalk@gmail.com, or sending in a voice message to us by going to anchor.fm/futureedtalk. Click on the message tab to where you can record your question to us. Once again, we thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support, and we cannot wait for you to tune in for season 4.
Don't just listen to Future Educators Talk on your smartphone. Continue the conversation online. Like us on Facebook. Be a part of our conversation by telling us what you think of our episodes. Join us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content. Follow us on Twitter to stay up to date with what's happening on our podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss future episodes. And beyond. It's you who keeps Future Educators Talk going. So like, comment, share, subscribe, review, and connect everywhere with us. You get social. So let's listen together.